Hey guys, it's me, Noodle. Um, Today we're gonna be doing a tutorial on the Oakridge nuclear power station on the startup. I've seen a lot of confusion, and I mean there's a guide, but there's some people who would find it more easier to just listen to a YouTube tutorial. So I'll just help y'all. So first, This is actually gonna be a guide overall to how to get in there and stuff. And so you got the car. We have to first enter the facility. Now, one thing I really hate right now is that these cars drive like shit. Like, the input lag is insane, bro. I press D and I have like 2 seconds. Oh. Okay, don't do that. Okay, I gotta back up now. Fuck. Man. Oh. Yeah, sorry. I might be cursing. So, yeah, if you don't want to hear me curse, sorry. Okay. Yep. So I passed my driving test. Thank you. Okay. So the entrance way, I'll show y'all. If you do not know how to get in there, which you should, if you're looking at this tutorial, you should already know. But the way I do it, and probably the fastest way. So we go in, playing some music. I like Power, the one they use for the Q-Surf startup. That shit's fire. Sign your key, turns green, you press it. Now you just avoid the elevators because they're slow. We don't like slowness. We like walking because we're strong. So you take the stairway all the way to the lower level. You'll go to the staff intake. You go all the way through down. You have to get your dosimeter, which is these things. They're like things for like radiation. Yep, green, go. And we are at the east stairwell. You go in here and you go up to level 3. And for some reason there's a level X. I don't even know why it's there. Like, look at shit. What is the point of level X? Why even put this here? But we're at level 3. So we're at the control room. This is our main station. Alright, so we go in, we sign in. Alright, so first thing you want to do, get the cabinet key, because some of the steps require you to have this key for some reason. I guess realism or something, I don't know. So take this board, take this board, because this will help you remind you. So to start, the reactor right now is at an offline state. You can tell because these two, the OCC circ pump 1 and pump 2, OCC stands for offline core cooling, meaning that these are on, the core is, as the O in OCC tells us, offline. Right here is the heat exchange valve. These are part of the OCC pump. Pretty sure they connect. But yeah, the blue. Blue means shutdown. If you see anything that's blue, usually you want to turn that off or on, it depends. So let's see what our pre-startup checklist. Okay, so first thing you want to do, condenser coolant pumps. And before you do this, I would recommend just studying where these are. So if you see where it says condenser coolant pump, I want you to study it. I want you to look at these things and tell me exactly, like, first try where it is. Real quick, I'll just go over it. This is a condenser coolant. Whenever you hear something about condenser coolant, you know, this is what it's talking about, all the pumps here. What does this do? Well, when steam evaporates from the core, it runs through the turbine, and then it goes to here. This will cool down the water. This is the condenser coolant. So we need to turn these to A1 and A2 on. Bada bing, bada boom. So then we go to turbine A. This is the turbine we're going to use. We're not going to worry about turbine B until we need to turn it on. So turn on the AV bleed, as it says in the thing. You turn the bypass on. If you press F while you're in first person, you can move your mouse around in it, which is quite nice. Bypass valve on. So we turn that on, and then so you see where it says bypass valve. Go to increase flow and just hold on loose. Loose means it'll increase rapidly. Precise is like very slow. So we wait till this reaches 100. This will bypass the turbine completely and go straight through, which for now is what we need to restart the reactor. Okay, so now that that's there, This is the derator. What does the derator do? There is a water cleaner. It cleans out the dissolved gases within the water that it picks up. So, first we close the AB valve. We only want derator A to be being fed through. Derator B is just gonna sit tight and do nothing for now. We set the relief valve to 50%, so increased flow is 50%, and then the steam inlet will be to 25%. Boom. Okay. So then we have our automatic feed limiter. This is important. Make sure you turn this on, because when water is coming through here, and let's just say that there's too much water, this kind of it's like basically it's an overflow. As if there's too much water, it can put some water and store it into derator B, and then kind of as like a buffer. And it's important to not overflood the reactor. ECCS injection. This is setting up our emergency system. To do that, come over to the ECCS cooling, and we click on the nitrogen. Pay attention to this right here. This pressurized system tank. Turn it on, it'll start moving up. We want it to hit this 1500. Try to stop it right at 1500. This is the ECCS is if we really we need to do something quickly to the reactor, such as drain water, release pressure, and put more water in. This is the panel to do that. It's basically if it's messed up and it's kind of fucked, we can kind of fix it. So I kind of overshot it, but it's fine. It doesn't matter as long as you're not going into the red right here, then you're good. So then this is our automatic hot well level. Set this to 35, but don't click this button. Click this, turn this on, and then click it. Boom. This will mandate our hot well, which stores all our water, before it's pumped out by our condensers. Condensate pumps. So that's good, that's good, that's good. Okay, now that we're up to the electrical grid, and this is a mistake I see a lot of players making. What you want to do, it says G1 to 64 amp offload system. Primed. What that means is that we hold this down for 5. It literally says hold 5 seconds to prime, and we see this light turn on. Do not press this button. I've seen many people do it, thinking that that's gonna prime it. But no, this button, just in case of a power outage and we're not connected to the off-site power, this will just switch it, and we're priming it. So make sure that this is light. Then, once that's done, we will turn off our auto G1 offload. This is just so that we don't, if power is lost, it doesn't automatically do that. We would not want that on for specific reasons, because we need to call for clearance to reconnect once we disconnect. Okay, breaker 18MG1. This is 18MG1. This is what you need your bypass key for. Let's plug that in. Bada bing, bada boom. If you're wondering what this does, it allows the it basically allows the main transformer to work. So it's for our grid, basically. It's the main grid's breaker. So that's on, and then I forgot. This 64BM is our all of our pumps. If you noticed, some of our pumps, like this condensate pump 2, the breaker is off. Why? Not because it's broken, but because it's powered by the generator. And since we don't have our generators on yet, our turbines are connected to the grid, these aren't going to be on. Only our main ones that our startup transformer can take. So that's enabled. Now we get to our condenser coolant pump, and we set them to speed 2. Quick lesson. This was confusing me when I joined. You see where it says A1 and it says set? This sets the speed. So this is 1, orange is 2, and green is 3. Left clicking will move it to the speed 2, and right clicking will move it back a speed. We need to set these both to speed 2, so we just click both and we set them to orange. It's to make the pump do more work. As you see, it's increasing the RPM. Okay, so recirculation pumps, those will be over here next to the main core instrumentation. It says A1 and A1 and B1. This is just each side of the reactor, so if you have one on, the equivalent other side should be on too. It's just a rule of thumb. So I have these both just B2. And then finally, our reactor isolation valves. This just lets the steam go from in the reactor to and then out of the reactor. So those of course need to be on. Okay, pre-startup completed. That was fire. Once you have all of that set up, we can start the reactor. Okay, so the first step is to turn reactor from mode 0, which I don't know why they call it this. It should just be called mode shutdown or something like that, maybe for space. Mode 0 is shutdown. Mode 1 means startup, and mode 2 is operational. So we turn this from shutdown to mode 1. This will highlight our shutdown rods. If you can see, you'll get an alarm, and you'll hear a lot of alarms. You just want to press acknowledge. So now we disable our offline cooling. So first what we do is we turn these off. Make sure they're off before starting. It's important. And then these two off. Okay. So now to shut down A3 control rods. So the blue rods are shutdown control rods. They're only supposed to be in when the reactor is shut down. So this button will just take them all out completely. Press that, and as you can see, we will start to see these lights flashing. The rods are getting pulled out. And we have to wait until they're fully pulled out before we do anything else. But thankfully that there is a bell that rings when they're all pulled out. So let's just wait. I'll speed this up in editing. Okay, well, we have, it says A3 rods out of zone. This means we are good. It means they're fully pulled. So, next step, we want to, this is the part where a lot of people have trouble. Raise reactor thermals. So, this is where we have to pull out some of these control rods. Now, first what we want to do, turn auto control rods, because these red ones, we can't control the red ones, except we can because they're part of the automatic control rods. So just turn this switch on, auto control rods, and change this to 1500. Set point, and then you'll see that the red ones will start pulling out. Yeah, there's these ones. Okay, now we need to pull our own out. So here's what I like to do. Put these like these, this like this, do like a symmetrical kind of pattern, and this like this. Okay, now once you have, it can only be 12 at a time. Right here it says rod selection plus 12. You can't have more than 12 or it won't work. So once you have 12, hold this and start moving. I'll speed this up. Okay, hear that bell? That means we now have reactor power. Now this will start rising. That's good. We need to get to 1500 though. So now that we have all these rods, we select another pattern. The next pattern I like to do is this. Just other ones. So instead of there, we do it like this. So remove those. Now we're rising. We should wait till this gets 1500. Also, when you're any time that you're doing one of these, like you're raising the core, core's power like this, be sure to look at these three. Hold on. Let me turn my chat off. Make sure you're looking at these three right here: the water level, the water pressure, and most importantly, the water temp. If they start going crazy, then you have to do something. But I'll show you that later. Okay, we are at. Now you can see that now that we're above our threshold that we put here, the automatic control rods, aka the red ones, will start putting in to balance it out, so we get to exactly 1500, which is actually pretty cool. And once they do that, we can enable reactor power 2. This will put our reactor into operational mode. Just acknowledge the mode conflict. We have to wait for the reactor, the water temperature to be above 200. Except it is above 200. It's at like 200 something. So now we go over, and another tip: anytime you see feed water or condensate, you have to enable one, you enable the other. So say like I enable condensate pump 1, I have to enable feed water pump 1 because they are connected. Exactly. See that? Enable 1, speed 2, and enable feed water, speed 2. So get rid of the error. Because we're having so much steam, it can't naturally flow, so we have to use pumps to assist it. And this should, in theory, remove our errors. Boom. Okay, now that we have water running sufficiently and our steam is coming up, as you can see, we need to raise it to 2100. Well, that's fun. Just put it in 2100 in the set point. Click that. Click remove. Remove the rest of these. As you can see, they're about to get removed, and then we have to select more. Remember, when you're selecting the rods, try to keep it symmetrical. So the next pattern I like to do probably be something like this. Middle, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11, 12. That's pretty fun. Remove those. Ooh, okay. There you go. Careful. Core heat imbalance. You will always get this error. There's pretty much there's like 98% of the time you will get core heat imbalance because it's really hard not to have a core heat imbalance. Trust me. Even with, I don't know, it's just this game, man. Something's wrong with how they calculate it, because in whatever pattern you do it in, there will always be an imbalance. Okay, now that we have that, we are at 2100. Also, very important tip. Oh, well, it seems that we put too much in. We'll take some out. We're stuck at 2200, and the automatic rods are all in. So I would put just a little more back in so that the auto rods can, we don't want to have too much power. It's not good either. A little bit more. There you go. Okay. Oh yeah, one more thing. Disable this shit. I hate auto scram. You have one problem, it immediately scrams the reactor. Yeah, that'll give you a little annoying error. Just, if it blows up, it's your fault. Don't have the system. It's very sensitive. That's why I don't like it. Okay. Now, I like this part a lot, actually. It's one of my favorite parts. We call engineering. It's always 106. And that's not a 4, by the way. I think I fucked up the number. We call engineering. Hey, Jerry, what's good, bro? We go to our turning gear. We have to disengage Turbine A's turning gear. Now, do I know what a turning gear in real life does? No. But it's kind of like a plastic sleeve, in my opinion. You just gotta tear it off before starting. But please enlighten me on what it does, because I'm lazy and I don't want to search it up. Okay, now that we have turn on, we have getting the turning gear off, we're at 2100 watts, and this is important. Make sure that the automatic rods, see where it's like going down? There was a spike in reactor power, that's why it was too many rods running, but now the spike is returning to normal. We don't want this spike is regular, but the problem is that if this spike starts returning to normal while you're starting the generator and it starts dipping below 2100, it'll trip the turbine and you will be messed up. And it'll auto scram because this game is amazing. That's why I turned that off. So just be wary of these numbers. See, honestly, I'm gonna remove some of these. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not risking that. We're going to 82. Boom. That should be good. Yeah. Please make sure that this does not dip. If this dips to like 1,800, you are cooked. You have to start over again. Okay. Or at the very least, you're gonna have to get the power back up if you're lucky. So it says turbine A as needed. Oh yeah, this does not tell you shit. As needed is very misleading. What it means is that you have to just play with it. So make sure the bypass valve is on, and you want to just go to the turbine valve, turn it to like, I don't know, 60-ish%, I'd say. Or I guess 65 is better. Like 70, I guess. 70-ish%. Then start turning down the bypass, but not all the way. More like just below the turbine. And pay attention to flow right here. We want it to get it in the middle. So I'm just lowering it. That should start rising. There you go. Yep. So now we start increasing it a little bit, the bypass. We don't want it to go all the way up there. This will increase the RPM. We want it to get to 1800. But if we have it too high, it'll overshoot, which is not what we want. We need it to be 1800 to sync it to the grid. So just keep increasing your bypass until the flow goes down to 0. We don't want it to be negative. We just want it to be 0. If we keep increasing the bypass, it'll just eventually go down. Yeah, there you go. Okay, just like a little bit. Start lowering it. Get back up a little bit. There you go. So like at 40 is good. Okay, almost there. Okay, nope, we overshooting it. That's okay. Okay, now we're there. Make sure you pay attention to this. Series is 1500. We need to get to 1800. Once we turn the synchroscope on, so start spinning and shit. Just wait. We wait until it approaches. The point where you can start syncing it is about 1772. That's the point where it starts to be able to be synced. You'll see this light right here will start turning on when you're in this red area. When that happens, you want it to line it up, and when it gets to this red area, make sure you press this button at the same time it's at the red area, the grid sync. This one. Right now, we're a little far away, so I'll just speed it up until we get there. And make sure to have a little peek at this flow. It doesn't go up or down, just in the middle. Alright, here we are. Now you can see that the green light is turning on when the synchroscope's needle is hitting the red area. Once it is this buzzing and it's at the red area, we want to make sure we press the button at the same time. If it's outside and the button's clicked, it's clicked. And also, when you press the button, there is like a lag in the animation of like when you click it. So you gotta click it before. If you're a little scared, just wait till it gets higher, because the higher that the RPM is, the slower the needle is. For the sake of the tutorial and the fact I'm not feeling that dangerous, I'm just gonna wait till it gets a little higher, and then I'm gonna press it, like right here. We press it now. Boom. Okay. 1800, it's synced. You'll get a reverse power error. Ignore it. It doesn't mean anything. We just acknowledge the error or the warning. Okay, now, because our turbine is synced, the bypass can go to hell. Turn that off all the way, because we need to start producing power. And you'll get an achievement. It tells you that you've connected to the grid. The grid is receiving power. Turn the bypass all the way off, and turn the turbine all the way up. This will get our max. This will maximize how much power the turbine can make. Okay, now that we have that, now that we have power, we can do that to connect to the grid. We can, this switch, 64 AM. This connects the main grid that we're powering to this facility's power. So we just turn that. Boom. I love that. It gets me a little excited, you know what I mean? Pause. Alright, so we have powered it, but you see, we still have breakers that are off, even though they shouldn't. This is just what happens when you leave breakers off. They can sometimes trip when it's getting connected. Just call engineering, and you can ask them to reset the breakers. Yep, reset the breakers. Okay. Now, we set the durators up for actual operation. This is just for startup. Now that we actually are started up, we can just set these to the correct values. Now these aren't it says 25% and 45%, but these are just default values. This will change. You will need to change these depending on how high your reactor power is. But I'll show you that will be easy to tell. So this becomes 45% inlet, and this will become 25, right? Yeah. Okay, and the same for this one. Also, they're gonna add an auto durator soon, which is pretty cool, because dealing with the durators is a little annoying. So automatic control is always a W. So first we turn the second. Now that we have access to the second condensate pump, we just turn that bitch on to speed 1, and then it's the same for feedback, because they're 1-to-1. You have to turn. If you turn one on, you have to turn the other on. Okay, and now we can open the durator for business. Boom. Now we're really actually starting up. Okay. Stage 3 is to raise to 3,000 megawatts. Eventually we get to 4,000, but okay. Alright. 3,000. Remember, it does tell you to turn these on. Now, you're supposed to turn them on gradually as they're turning on, but it's kind of hard to do that, so here's what I do. It's like a speed run. I quickly turn these on, and then I start raising the power immediately. So it kind of counteracts the cooling effect. So A1 to A2 to speed 3, B1 to B2 to speed 1, or enable the pumps, and condenser coolant A1 A2 speed 3. Okay, watch what I do. Okay, and now hit that. Okay, man, shut up. The fuck up. I hate that error. I never cannot get this. This will all, like, honestly, this should just be on, like, this shouldn't even have, the alarm for this shit is so annoying, bro. Like, at least make it a not annoying alarm that doesn't make me want to, like, throw myself into the fucking river. Jesus. Alright. I'd recommend just dumping all the rest of the rods and have the automatic makeup for it, because having 2% rods is annoying when you're trying to set new ones, like get more down a new set. So just have automatic rods, take control of that as they are. Now that we have that, just make sure this is condenser coolant. Yeah, we gotta turn the second turbine on, so let's do that. Okay, same process. Take the turning gear off for the Turbine B. Ring, motherfucker. Turn that shit off. Okay, Lancer, I need you to turn off. I need you to take off the turbine gear. Turning gear. Also, quick side tangent. I don't understand event points. And I get because they're like quote unquote having an event, but it happens even when I'm in a private server and on not any like specific event. It's just a certain time period. It doesn't really make any sense. But yeah. So Turbine B, it's now removed. We just got to do the same thing. Okay. Now y'all are just gonna think, oh yeah, turn the bypass all the way up. Don't do that, because unfortunately, if you go crazy fast with the bypass on Turbine B, it'll cause a load rejection for some freaking reason, and that'll trip the turbine, and you'll have a very bad time, because then you'll have to do Turbine A again. So, as we want to prevent that, what we have to do is just not as fast. Increase the turbine, try to do like 40. Kind of slower this time. Right there. It's good. Now we increase the turbine valve. Yup. Hold on, let me increase this a little bit to like 60. Okay, yeah, it's like a skill. High outlet pressure. Are you serious? Oh shit, yeah, turn these on. Turn, don't forget to turn these fucking shits on. Please, I'm begging you. I forgot. These two need to be on. High outlet pressure will cause turbine vibration and it won't condense the water. These are very important. Again, very important. They do two very important things. More water can flow into the hot well, which won't cause the hot well to dry up, and won't cause the turbine to shake and fucking like break because it shakes too much. Okay, what was I doing? Oh yeah, increase this. Yeah, the higher the bypass, the lower it like falls, you know, like on itself. It just, yeah, this one you kind of it falls, and then you could probably get a higher bypass, but ooh, I pressed the wrong one. I was wanted the precise one. We're getting it up, and no, and we haven't tripped the turbine yet, Turbine A, which I have done a lot. And it's caused me to rage very much. This game hurts me sometimes, and I hurt it back. Well, I guess I just more like I hurt my keyboard, but we don't want to talk about that. Alright, let's turn this bitch on. Increase flow. Whoa. Not like that. Too much. Too much flow increase. You can tell I'm sweating. If the Turbine A trips, I will be very mad. Yeah, check the reactor power. Hold on. How do you zoom again? It's like, is that like Z? Yeah, E. Yeah, 3000. That starts going crazy, you gotta be careful. It could, because nuclear reactor moment. It does that. Okay, here we go. Unlid this thing. Grid sync. Be careful. Here we are. Okay, be careful. I'll let it go one more time. Okay. I'll let it go one more time. Boom. Alright. High outlet pressure. Go away. We fixed that. Yeah, they're both good. Okay, now that we have that enabled, we have to... oh yeah. Make sure that this is gone. Pressure. The bypass out of here, so we start generating power. And then increase the turbine flow, so we run all of our air through the turbine. Okay. Then all we have to do is what does it say? Oh yeah. Now that we have 3000 power, we can have more water flowing through because we have both turbines set up. So condensate, feed water. This will get more water out the hot well into the reactor to flow back through. Okay, now we have that. We now stage it. We're at the final stage. This was our main operational power. 4000 is where we sit at when we're connected to the grid. So now I have to select a new path. Now I forgot what did I do before? It was like 2 4 6 8 10 12 No, 2, 4, 6, 8, and where's the... like this? Yeah. This. Oh, that's perfect. Remove that. Yeah, 4,000. Yeah, and oh, by the way, we have to make sure that we have a lot more cooling. Research, by the way, is our cooling. This cools the reactor, nothing else. This is what cools the reactor. Research pumps. We need more because we're getting hotter, and we don't want no meltdown. Fuck that. As you can see, our temps they're getting less red. That's good. Okay. Alright, that's pretty good. Let's look at our heat. Yeah, it's fine. This seems high, but it'll only rupture if it's really high. In truth, apparently people say that it shouldn't even be able to get this high. This will cause the fuel rupture, aka it'll melt and cause, you know, fuel and shit and water to like leak. But whatever, man. It don't happen here. We don't care about it. Okay, now that we have our fort that we're at operational power, we turn these on, as these are our final pumps for low power to cool down our steam, because it's really hot. Okay, A3 and B3 are on, right? Yes, they are. Okay, now the fun part, we call Alaskan Interconnections, aka our grid controller, people that we give the power to, and we go online. Okay, we go online. This will say online. Wow. That was quick. Okay. Let me show you something. So quickly set these. Make sure the bypass valves for both these generators are on. Then turn these on. And yeah. And then go to recirc pumps C1 and C2. And set the speed to 1. Turn them on. Oh shit, wrong one. Yep. And this will cool down this very hot ass reactor back to normal levels. Okay. What do you want? Wow. I think that's a little bugged. Alright. Congratulations. Oh yeah. One more thing. You'll get derator warnings because it, you know, again, the water is just heating up. But if you want to know, the way to increase temperature is to increase steam inlet valve. This is how you increase your temperature. Generally, you want it at 250 degrees with 100 psi of pressure on each. That's what you want. Again, but each power range, the more power you have, the less steam inlet you need, and the less relief valve, or the more relief valve you're gonna need. I think my brain's fogging, but yeah, this will be low, but again, let's just increase this to 4100 just for the sake of it. This will heat up the Are you fucking serious? Why? Okay, calm down. See, the game just like kills you. Okay, well, all of our research. Why? Well, I'm cooked. It knocked out everything. We have to scram instead of breakers. But yeah, that was the tutorial. Don't do. Maybe I set the durator too high. I don't fucking know. Yeah, we're cooked. What a perfect way to end the video out. Yeah. What? So yeah, guys, seriously, the reason I ended the game. If it decides it wants you to die, you'll just die. Like the game takes out all of your pumps. You know how you reset it? You have to wait like 15 seconds for pump engineering, and by that time you're cooked. And you can't do anything else because everything you need to fix it is dead. Fuck. And also skill issues because I'm not that good at the game. But yeah, that's how you start it up. Good night, guys. Fuck this game. Okay, guys. So quick editor's note. I figured out what went wrong, and I'll put in a little thing in the video. But let me show you something. So quickly set these. Make sure the bypass. So yeah, I tell you to keep the bypass. That's good. Bypass valves for both these generators are on. Then turn these on. Okay, I say turn the switches above the keypads on, but and I make an unfortunate goof, and the unfortunate goof is that I kept them at 0, and what that does is that it's gonna force the generator, the turbine, to keep the megawatts to 0, and we're basically gonna we're gonna make it so that it produces no power. What I should have done was enabled them and then put like a number in there, like at least like 150 or something, or put it in the power demand for what we had, because the fact that I didn't cause them to make no power, and that's what caused the turbine to trip and everything, every fucking breaker to flip out and cause me to die. So yeah, I'll put a little warning, but that is why I died, because I had to put some value in there. I shouldn't have left that 0. So yeah, thanks for watching. Subscribe, please. I don't have many. And like the video if you thought it was informative.